Hi Vedic Virgos! This is the Ivy League Astrologer with your March 2015 reading. So for Vedic Virgo, the first card out is the Two of Wands. I get the sense that you're looking out over your life, trying to figure out what it is that you want. You feel like it's go time. Like, let's get this in order. I feel like you want to step out into your future a bit more. Kind of find the light also. I feel like it's been a season of struggle and of pilgrimage in a way. And I feel like you are wanting to leave behind that feeling of being chained, but like chained as a wanderer or something, like chained to this like ever shifting kind of landscape. Like you're like, okay, I want stability, I want peace, I want to make my way in the world, and I want something solid. And I feel like you're looking out over your life and trying to find that. I'm trying to see where that could be for you and what you can make grow. And I feel like you're having an enlightenment about partnership as well, where you're wanting to move forward in a partnership. But you may be forcing it a bit. Maybe something that's kind of stuck. Or like you and this other person are very different, but like suddenly this month you feel inspired to like bring yourselves together. And move forward together kind of boldly. I think you may have some misgivings about this. Because, okay, here's what I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like you really want to get started on this next phase of your life, whatever it is. And so I feel like you're tempted to kind of steamroll a situation that's stuck or that's halfway there into being like fully what you want because you were feeling so much in need of solidity for the future or something. So I feel like you may be kind of steamrolling any objections on your part, on your partner's part, and just kind of going for it. Like you're kind of like, now is the time for me to be solidified, to be secure. Now is the time. This is my prime or something. Like this is my prime. Now is the time for the future to unveil itself. And what I have here in the present must be what it is. So I'm going to move forward with that. I feel like you're just really trying to end a sense of suffering and a sense of being lost in the wilderness and kind of just out there on your own, trying to like heal yourself and trying to heal maybe a relationship or, you know, I mean, this could be like a divorce or like a split from someone who was previously important to you, who's kind of gone out of your life or else is still in your life but is not turned towards you, you know, like I just feel like there's been a lot of like sadness and a lot to overcome, and I feel like you feel like it's time for me to be happy now. Which there's nothing wrong with that feeling, that's great. But I feel like you may sort of try to force this wish into being, even though your heart's not entirely in it. Like it feels like you're so trying to leave behind this struggle that you're like looking at what's in front of you and suddenly seeing new possibilities in what's in front of you and seeing new life and the possibility of fertility, you know, of like lushness and being like, okay, yeah. But it's almost like in looking at that, you're kind of like only looking at like the tops of the trees or something, you know? It's like, you're like, okay, I'm seeing all this beauty that I want. And you're not really looking at the whole picture, certainly. But you're not looking at like the heart of the matter somehow, you know? It's almost like you're trying to make this vision be without really considering like the people who are a part of it or something. Like you're like, I just want it to be this way, so let's make it this way. And you may be kind of trying to force someone into a mold that they're not really fit for, or force yourself into a mold that you are not really fit for. This could also be happening to you, Virgo. Someone may kind of refuse your offer or refuse to do things the way that you're trying to get them to do it because it doesn't feel right to them. Or they may kind of force you to slow down a bit. I actually think that this is also, I think this is another kind of symbol of you not being willing to listen to your emotions fully. It's like something is being presented to you kind of from beyond or whatever that is like, okay, but don't forget about this. And you're like, no, I don't want to hear that. I'm just trying to build my life here in the present, and I've got this person here, and anybody can make a marriage work. I'm going to make it work with this person. We're going to read this book that tells you how to make marriage work, and we're going to go for it, and it's going to be great. That's it, you know. So I kind of feel like it's that kind of attitude. It may not be about marriage, maybe about a job, maybe about, you know, a family situation or something. But I feel like, excuse me, I'm sorry. I feel like this month you just have a strong urge to forge ahead and to leave behind any difficulty or disappointment from the past. But don't let that urge get the better of you, I would say. Let's see what else is coming up. Yeah, I feel like there's some issues that haven't been tended to yet that need to be addressed before you can truly start on this new path or on the path. It may not be this thing that you're thinking, I'm going to make this work, but on the path that's going to get you to kind of where a new start that you really want. I feel like there's some maybe money issues that you need to address. Old stuff. Yeah, I feel like you're kind of done diving within to manage things, but you're not really done. You know, like you need a time out for now. But in order to really, really start where you're going, I think you have to do more internal work. And maybe go back and resolve some situations that are taking kind of forever, it feels like, to just work themselves out. You know, it's like you kind of wish that you could just turn away from it, or even trying to just turn away from it and like, la la la, ignore them, but that they're just growing more and more stuff as you do that, you know, like it's just not going away. So I feel like that has to be dealt with before you can actually move forward into the future that you want. But I feel like, yeah, I just feel like you're disinclined to look back over what has gone wrong. And this could be in the loss of a home, in the loss of a marriage, like, or in an old relationship. I feel like you just want it all to just go by, you know, so that you can get to the good stuff. And I also feel like maybe you don't want to examine your role in this too closely. You want to stop working on it. But I think stuff keeps coming up that you have to kind of contend with. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you kind of feel like you put a lot of work into something and are getting very little reward back. Like instead what you're getting is the sense that there's a lot more work to be done. And I just feel like you're not having it this month. Yeah, it just strikes me that you're kind of not in a healing mind frame. You're in like a frame of mind where you just need to get away from it for a while. Um, and I think that's okay. I mean, I think that this will wait for you, but I just think that, you should kind of recognize it for what it is. It's a pause. It's like a timeout. It doesn't mean you're done with this, with your issues that you have to work out before you can really truly be free to like move on in the way that you want. I think the important thing to know is that the future that you want is available to you, but it's not, it's a little stuck right now. And it's not gonna get here any faster by you kind of steamrolling it and ignoring stuff. Um, yeah, I feel it just, again, it just feels very much like you kind of just want to ignore the work to be done this month and just kind of enjoy yourself. So, I mean, a little of that is okay, but like, just be careful not to overindulge, basically. Because I think that you're still tied to this thing or to your. I think you are at or nearing a fork in the road where you need to make a decision. And I think maybe you kind of feel that subconsciously, and that's why you're wanting to kind of just get away from everything. It feels like maybe in the middle of you just kind of enjoying yourself or diverting yourself, you may get a realization that kind of sets your hair on fire. You may kind of get like a, yeah, okay. I think you may get like an idea of what you need to do to kind of lift yourself up and turn yourself around and get yourself on the right path. How to untie yourself from this thing that is still bugging you and work with it rather than run away from it. So it feels like, in a weird way, it feels like your sort of desire for avoidance is actually going to, like, you're not going to be able to resist this enlightenment. It's going to kind of come through even though you may be not seeking it. And it may kind of turn your plans for the future upside down. This thing that you're kind of trying to just move ahead with to kind of, just get to where you want to be. It may kind of turn that upside down, this realization that comes during the month. Probably towards the end of the month, but, it could be different times. Yeah, it's like as you're trying to avoid it, it's something that's not avoidable for whatever reason. But, it's okay to take a little time out because you're going to get there anyway. Yeah. I think that you're going to, and this may not happen this month, this part, but I think you're eventually going to be sort of released from an unhealthy relationship or an unnecessary relationship that you maybe currently feel like is healthy and necessary or is like, right, or that you're trying to push forward into like a happy ending. I feel like you're going to kind of be released from that and maybe even from an engagement, like that's engagement or something is going to be killed or it's going to in order to allow you an enlightenment about the direction you really need to go in, which is a harder path to walk on, but incredibly, incredibly healing. Ooh, and it's going to get you just, oh my goodness, it's going to get you just a lot closer to your higher self, to kind of your angels in a way. It's where you need to be, and it's going to get you a lot closer to wisdom too. So there may be like a relationship that breaks off in order to allow you to see what you really need to do, or who you really are, or what path you really need to walk on, and give you the strength to do that. And again, that may or may not happen this month, but just maybe in the future. And yeah, I definitely see something ending in order for there to be a new beginning. And I think that there's some solitariness that comes with that new beginning at first. So yeah, that's what I see for March 2015, Virgo. I hope that's helpful. I think it's just talking about, you know, maybe needing a little break, but trying not to like steamroll things, because it's, you know, things happen when they are meant to happen, and they happen with whom they are meant to happen. So you can want what you want, but you know, you will get what's best for you. So yeah, I hope that's helpful, and please get in touch if you'd like a personal reading. My information is down below. Thank you, and happy March.